A standing ovation, the final note fades into silence. Flowers tossed onto the stage, a moment of triumph for a world-class pianist. But on October 13th, 2021, those rose petals weren't on a stage. They were scattered around the lifeless body of Christina Parcell, and the man once known for commanding a piano with memorized renditions of Beethoven's sonatas was now accused of something far darker: murder. I'm Santiago, and this is Strawberry Ink. Described as warm and dedicated, she spent her days caring for animals and was the mother of a 10-year-old daughter. But on the morning of October 2021, her fiance Bradley Post couldn't reach her. She had a job interview that morning. When she didn't answer his calls, he went to check on her. What he found was something out of a horror movie. Inside their home, Christina was lying on the floor of the living room, stabbed at least 31 times. A chemical odor lingered the air, around her body delicate rose petals. A haunting, almost theatrical signature. Bradley then called the cops. Authorities described the scene as very violent. There were no signs of forced entry, no obvious murder weapon left behind, but what the killer did leave behind was DNA. And that DNA would lead police to a man few expected: concert pianist Zachary Hughes. At first, police looked at two men closest to Parcell, her fiancé Bradley Post, and the father of her daughter, John Joey Mello. They were suspicious about them and believed the murder was planned out. Both men had their own legal troubles. Post was soon arrested on a slew of disturbing charges: criminal sexual conduct and illegal pornography. Evidence linked to those crimes was found at the very scene of Parcell's murder, but Post had an alibi. He was eliminated as a suspect. Police had confiscated his phone and collected DNA from him. After being cleared, the phone was given back to him. Regarding Bradley Post's unrelated case, he continues to await trial for that. I will keep you updated either on my TikTok page Strawberry Ink or on one of my episodes in either one of my shows, either this show Strawberry Ink or my other show Blackberry Ink. Anyways, let's get back into the story. Then there was Mello, who had been in a bitter custody battle with Parcell for years. He was later charged with custodial interference after illegally taking their daughter out of the country. But again, he had an alibi. So who killed Christina Parcell? This case of Mello was dismissed in April 2024. Christina's body was taken to the Greenville County Coroner's Office, and her death was confirmed a murder. A month after her murder, police spotted and arrested 29-year-old Zachary Hughes nearby. Hughes wasn't a jealous ex. He wasn't a known enemy of Parcell. In fact, her own fiancé had never even heard of him. So how did they connect him to the crime? For one, his DNA was under Parcell's fingernails. For another, surveillance footage, witness testimony, and digital records all placed him at the scene. A neighbor saw a man dressed in black on a bicycle, putting on a white mask just minutes before the murder. When asked in court if she could identify him, she pointed straight at Zachary Hughes. And most damning of it all, a security camera across the street captured Hughes walking into Parcell's home at 9:15 a.m. He emerged 12 minutes later, dressed in black, riding away on a bike. So why would a world-class pianist kill a veterinary technician? Investigators uncovered a disturbing friendship between Hughes and John Joey Mello. Mello, bitter over his custody battle, had allegedly enlisted Hughes to help him harass Parcell. It started small, sending nude photos of her to neighbors, co-workers, and even the cigar bar she frequently visited. It escalated into relentless online harassment, and then on October 13th, 2021, prosecutors say Hughes took things too far. According to the state, Hughes had inserted himself into Mello's war against Parcell. And when it looked like she might win full custody, he made the ultimate decision: murder. After his arrest, Zachary Hughes was processed at the Greer police station and claimed that he killed Christina to save her child from sexual abuse. In these kinds of cases, courts take children away from parents when the abuse is too bad, not simple hitting or spanking. Anyways, when the abuse is too bad, there are the foster care system and homes like the Huckleberry for people of all ages who need to run away from home. He was afterwards booked into the Greenville County Detention Center on a charge of felony murder. The county's bond court magistrate, James Hudson, denied him bail, and after an indictment went through, it was confirmed that he would remain behind bars awaiting trial. Deputy Solicitor Jeffrey Jordan, who prosecuted the case, had presented it to a grand jury. This led to Hughes being indicted on extra charges of burglary, second-degree harassment, conspiracy to commit second-degree harassment, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. He appeared before Judge Patrick Fant and pleaded not guilty to all crimes. Fast forward to 2025. After years of delays, Zachary Hughes finally went to trial. The prosecution painted a picture of a man obsessed with a custody battle that wasn't even his own. A man who planned every detail, from the disguise, to the getaway bike, to the chillin' rose petals he left behind. Hughes's defense, however, had their own argument. They claimed Hughes believed Parcell was abusing her daughter, that he acted to protect an innocent child. But there was no proof of that, no charges, no record of abuse. Hughes was represented by defense attorneys Andrew Mormon and Mark Moyer. And so the question remains, was Hughes an avenger? Or was he simply a man who let his obsession spiral into something deadly? The jury would decide. During the trial on February 19th, one of Parcell's former spouses, John Mello, was arrested after his home was raided by the Greenville County Sheriff's Office. He was afterwards processed at their headquarters and then booked into the Greenville County Detention Center. Mello was also tied to the murder investigation, accused of paying Zachary Hughes to kill Christina. This new arrest occurred while Hughes was testifying in his trial. The following day, John Mello would appear before Magistrate Lila Foster at the Greenville County Bond Court and be denied bail. Hours later, a verdict was reached in the trial of Zachary Hughes. He was found guilty on all charges and would immediately be sentenced. Judge Fant would impose a sentence for both the murder and burglary charges, another one for the 2 harassment charges, and lastly for the weapons charge. For murder and burglary, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. For the harassment charges, he was sentenced to a concurrent 60 days, time served, and for the weapons charge, he was sentenced to a consecutive 5 years. Zachary Hughes remains in the Greenville Detention Center and will soon be admitted into a state prison. I will keep you updated on my TikTok page, Strawberry Ink, regarding which facility he gets placed in, so make sure to follow that. Meanwhile, the other suspect, John Mello, awaits trial. In the future, I will make an episode about him once his case is adjudicated. This has been Strawberry Ink. Make sure to like this episode and follow for more. Thank you and have a nice day.